Hello everyone, Eileen Godwin here from the Lavinia Stamps DT with another video tutorial for you. Today I'm once again featuring some of the fabulous stamps from our July 2022 release. The stamps I'm using are Leaf Creeper, one of the images from the Open Dandelion set, along with the mini Leaf Creeper, and don't forget to fly sentiment that I've used on this card. And also, as you can see, I've had fun, so I've made two cards. This one I've used the Keep Smiling sentiment stamp. Plus, in my view, the star of the show, which are some flowers, some of the daisies I think they are, from the Word Set One Stencil. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. It's great to have your company again, and let me show you how I made these cards. I've taken a piece of multifarious cardstock, the A4 size sheet, folded it, creased it, and I've virtually cut it in half. I've made two tent fold cards here. They are 14.5 centimeters in length by, I think it was, 11 centimeters in width. I think slightly over. But anyway, you get two cards out of the A4 sheet of multifarious cardstock in white. As you can see here, I've placed a bit of tape. This is Sweet Poppy stencil tape. And I've placed it, there's 7 centimeters up from the bottom, give or take. It's about halfway, so you've got it about halfway up the card. So it doesn't look actually straight to me, so I'm going to pull that out. Just pop that down, just to mask off that area. Right, next. Starting off with the daisies, or whatever flowers they are, from the Word Set One Stencil. Making this white card, the only thing you've really got to watch is you don't get lots of ink on your fingers, which I've been making cards for the last hour or so, so hands are already inky. I'm going to take the stencil, and I'm not using the largest shape flower, I'm using the next one down, popping that down along towards the left-hand side, but leaving a bit of a space, about 2 centimeters along, something like that. Don't have to be exactly precise. I'm just going to pop that flower on so that most of it is above the sticky tape line, and using an orange Lavinia Stamps brush, in the one I use for orange, and Elements Inks Russet Orange. I have some in the lid already, so just going to make sure it's not going to be too dark. Yeah, just going through the stencil. As you can see, my Word Set One stencil has been cut up. I find it easier to work with, but you don't have to do that, obviously. I do love my stencils though. I use stencils a lot. So versatile. A bit more ink on there. Just in the middle, I think. A bit of shading in the middle. Yes, that's good. Just going to wipe the stencil with a dry cloth just to get rid of it, because I'm going to use it again, of course. And wipe the fingers as well, and then moving along and down a little so that the heights are different. I'm just going to bring in some green on this one, using exactly the same flower head that I used for the first one, the same size, like so. And I'm using green. Now I happen to know there's a lot of green on this brush already. Is there enough? Maybe not. Olive, this one is. Elements again in olive. but there is some in the lid. Yeah, so let's see what I can do with this. Okay, see, it's quick to do, but you can see that I've got some marks now on here where I've inadvertently strayed out of the area, but I've got my eraser. I shall use that in a moment. So I'm just going to finish off this bit, wiping the stencil. And then I'm going on for the smallest flower that I have, and up a little bit from the green, but still coming over the petals slightly with that. And then pink confetti in the Elements range. And I know that I've got some in the lid of this. And some on my brush. I've changed it, as you can see, to another brush. And that's pink. And that's fine. And then finally, I'm going to use a slightly larger flower head. Whoops. Just wipe that off. Slightly larger flower head here, just to bring that out and down a bit more, so that I've got just a small amount of blue. Oh, it's not the very small one, it's this one. Yeah, no, it is that one. So you've got the very tiny one, and then there's one smaller one over here, but I'm using the next one up. Does that make sense? Well, use any one you like then, really, okay? There we go. It's too hot to be bothered, isn't it? So, yeah, so let's pop that down there, sort of really taking itself out of the picture, but I'm going to give it more room over the other side. So this is the blue Elements again, and this is Della Blue. Beautiful shade, in fact. Just do a tiny little amount there. Yeah. And then to finish it off, I'm going to put the same flower over this side, but up just a little bit, very lightly. Pop in another piece of blue there, like so. Okay, so you should have all different heights of these flowers, so they're not sort of going across sort of the same level, because that really wouldn't be good. Well, it wouldn't look so good. So move these out of the way before I get rid of that extra bit of ink that I've got there and I don't need. Wiping hands very carefully. I've got a large cloth here. Now, most of you that follow me know that I've got this. This is for anyone that's new to my YouTube, and thank you very much for being with me today. If you could ring the bell and subscribe, that would be really good. Thank you. And this is a Tombow Mono Sand Eraser for ink. That's a Tombow Mono Sand Eraser for ink, and the code number of this is 512A. And on my multifarious cardstock, it's great for removing bits of ink that I really don't want. And there's two. You may not be able to see these. It was very, very pale, but I had stray parts of that green flower image sort of floating up, and I really don't want it. It was catching my eye and annoying me. So there you go. Mustn't get annoyed, especially when it's warm. All right. I'm in the southeast of England, so it's sunny. Yes, that's the word. Not complaining. Yesterday was terrible. Those poor people that lost their houses. So I'm lucky. I'm playing. Now, over we go. So that's it regarding the flowers, but now I'm going to move on to the stamping. And starting off with my stamping pad underneath, I'm moving the card round because I do stamp better with using blocks if the card is on its side, especially when it's a really tall flower, which the ones that I'm using to begin with are. More about that as we go through. So I'm popping that on there. I'm adding some more tape. So because one of the stems of the flower that I'm using, which is going to be, I think it's the leaf creeper. It's quite tall. It's this one, leaf creeper. There's 2 images in the set, and I'm using the larger of the 2 images, the longer one. And I have my acrylic block, pop that down, and I'm going to use, make sure that you can see this okay, I'm going to use Versifying Clear Ink Twilight. Again, ink all over me, get rid of any inky fingers. Gentle tapping. Gorgeous image this is. You can see that I'll be using this a lot. So, first generation. Good to see my card. Where did I pop it? I want to see it so I know where to pop this down. So I'm coming in between the blue and the yellow flower, and I'm just going to come up so that it goes up towards the top of the card. Try to get it straight. Down, press, and then up. That's lovely. And then I'm not going to re-ink it, but I'm going to come out from the side, lower it down at an angle so that that's there. All right, okay. And is that just the one or is the 2? No, I think that was just the one. So actually I might get away with popping another one down. Well, there's a little bit come out, but not much. So moving stamps now. I'm going on to clean this one off. I'm moving on to the Open Dandelion set. You've got 2 in here, one with the dandelion itself, and then there's another one, the bud, presumably. Pop that onto the block. Make sure that's straight. The lid of my ink. And Versifying Clear Shady Lane, coupled with this one, which is Cheerful. Cheerful, I think this is called. I've got my name plastered all over it. But I think this, well, it's yellow, okay? It's a yellow one. And inking up with the yellow first, just onto the tip of the flower. And if you cover the leaves, that doesn't matter. Just gentle tapping. And then moving on to the green of Shady Lane, I just want to catch the leaves with the green and then coming down the stem. But I want to avoid the flower head itself. Plus I've got it all round the block and all over my fingers. It's a good job I noticed. And then down again onto its side, and then alongside that beautiful leaf creeper, or was it? Yeah, leaf creeper stamp. So keeping it straight, like so, committed. That's good. And then there's a bit of yellow left. I'm just going to very gently lay it down there, add a bit of interest into the background. And then finally, I'm not going to bother to clean the stamp. There's not much ink left. Just going to use this Glamorous. This is, again, Versafine Clair Glamorous. It's a lovely red. Don't want the stem all done there. And I'm going to pop that just underneath, or just hitting the top of the flowers, just hitting the leaves from the previous image, and then moving it over a bit so that it goes off the card. And then down and up. Yeah, that's good. Okay, looks a bit of a mess because of all this tape stuff. But trust me, things are working underneath, okay? Right, so clear the decks here. I've got one more to do before I remove the tape. Tidy that up. And this is, the final stamp is this mini leaf creeper. Great for infill, really is so versatile. And I'm going to use the red again for that. So I've got that on both sides of the card. Gentle tapping. And this is going above the blue and the green. Checking fingers. One. I'll do it again. Down a little bit so you've got different heights. And then I think I'll have another one there. Right, that should do it. Okay, so now I'm going to do the reveal, but checking the fingers first. Sorry, I'm paranoid. Oh, yes. That's lovely. Right. 2 and 3, and that's beautiful and crisp, that. Right. I'm a happy little crafter now. I'm moving on to my Misty, or your whatever stamp press you have, for just to do the words. Again, checking fingers. This is my small Misty, so it's really useful. Down there, I've got ink on there. But my eraser will get rid of that. Don't know how that happened, but it was obviously off my fingers. But it's not too much. So move over. And the words I'm using now are, if I can find them, I'm going to use Don't Forget to Fly, but you can, as you see here, I have Keep Smiling on that one. Popping that down, just at the edge. I like it that it's in a sort of a raised edge stamp so that you can line it up quite easily and you know it's going to be straight. Down we go. And then I'm using the same, I'm going to use the same ink to match my Leaf Creeper stamp, so it's Twilight, gorgeous blue, Versafine Clair Twilight. Gentle tapping, should be okay. Over we go. Press firmly. Don't need the pressure tool today, it's a small image. And up. Lovely. Hands again. good. Now, the final thing I need to do is just to remove a little bit of ink, but I'll get my display board out first. Like so. And then I'm using my rubber again, my eraser, to get rid of that ink there, because I can see it's just a yellow blob. Don't know where it appeared from, but obviously fingers. Here we go. And now I'm looking for my brush to get rid of all the detritus that the eraser leaves behind. Oh, I spotted another little bit of ink too that shouldn't be there. I think we're there now. Right. So I'm leaving that. I enjoyed that. So now I have 3 to show you. So the one that I've just done, the one I did earlier on, in fact, during the week, and one that I did this morning. And this one is another. That one's Keep Smiling. This one, Don't Forget to Fly. Now with this one, ready? I did the inside as well, look. So all I did was to use the stencil and the residue of the coloured inks left on my brushes and pop that flower down, different configuration, here, there and everywhere. Kept it so that the ink was quite pale and not sort of in your face too much. So it was in the background more than anything. And then use the Leaf Creeper again, 1st and 2nd generation ink. So that's given me a nice inside so that you can put your greeting on, and it adds interest, I think. What do you reckon? Okay, so there we are. 3 pretty cards. Let me get them all into shot, hopefully. 3 pretty cards, and I've had lots of fun. I hope that you have too. Stay safe, everyone. I'll see you again next weekend. Bye for now.